Okay, here we go. Back in Kerbal Space Program, people. Yeah, now today I'm going to have another shot at getting back to the Mun. I've had a few ideas, so I'm going to see if they work. So, welcome along for the ride. First off, have we got any other missions here we want? Surface of the Mun. I am taking that one. Now, in no way, shape or form can I get near the Mun at the moment, in terms of landing. However, I'm going to grab that mission and then with a bit of luck, I'm going to do something with it later. So, first off, what we're going to do is pick up the humble Lawn Dart 5. Yes, go for 5. Now, what I need to do first off is remove... I need to zoom in a bit first so I can see what I'm doing. I need to remove the science. Reason being I need the part count, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now, as it stands, it says 2560. Right, well, I'm going to see what I can do about that because I'm going to put in a pair of these. So yeah, that's more. Previously, I've not wanted to use the solids. Couple of reasons. Firstly, they're heavy, although that matters a lot less now. But also they wobble. They wobble a lot on liftoff. However, now I've got the strut, so I can come into this here, and I can go from there. To there. And that won't totally eliminate the wobble, but it will help. So 2560, I've got less performance now than I did have, which is a little bit disturbing. I'm going to drop the thrust limiter a little bit on that, which is even less performance. However, I've got parts spare, so actually what I'm going to do is delete those two for a sec. And I'm going to use one of my extra parts to do that. So that's a bit more performance now. Not vastly more, but it's a bit more. Hopefully it's enough. We shall see. Do that. And then that has got a couple of parts left, so I can actually go in and put the science back. Notably, some of this science kit, I mean this... Yeah, I'd like to stick the Science Junior on. It is expensive. Goo, however, I haven't taken that far out yet, so I'm going to drop 2 of those. I'm going to put the snapping back on correctly. I'm going to put 2 of those on there like that. Oh, look, he's got ears. It's a cute little rocket with ears. That'll do. Now that's saying I've got a lot less performance again. This... It's not going to work, is it? Right, okay. Back to... Don't save that. I'm going to go back into Lawn Dart 5A. 5A is the one that has got the liquid boosters. So 2, 4, whatever there. It has got a few extra bits and pieces. It's got that parachute, which I don't need, because I'm taking that out. If I now put that back, 2560, that's a fair chunk more performance. What I'm also going to do is try with the extra fuel tank in here and see what we get. Yeah, well, we shall see. I've got 1 part spare. There's not much I can do with that. I've done the thermostat mission, and I've done the other bit. So yeah, I can't put the Science Junior in, because if I put the Science Junior in, I need the extra parachute, which I haven't got. So I'm going to put the goo pod back. Now I've got... where are we? In the report thing. Yeah, I've got a single part spare, so I'm going to put a single goo pod on. And now it's like Mozart. Easy as cutting your ear off. Or was that somebody else? That was Van Gogh, wasn't it? Yeah, Van Gogh, cut your ear off. Never mind. So I'm going to make that one Lawn Dart 5B. And we are going to try once more for the mun. Let's see how this goes. I think the last attempt there, I wasn't that far off. But obviously no prizes for second place. So we shall throttle up to about 2/3 and off we go. And again, tip over quite early. I want an aggressive gravity turn here, if I can get one. Hold it about that for a second. Yeah, I may have gone a little bit too far there, but we shall. For some reason stabilising. Oh, it's already tried to stabilise it the other way, that's why. Yeah, we shall see. I may have gone a little bit too far. Let's go to full throttle. Yes, I think I've gone a little bit too far over on this one. We'll run with it. We'll see what happens. I strongly suspect this one is about to become a failed mission again, but failed due to pilot error rather than anything else. Yes, I very much doubt this is going to make orbit. However, it'll be a good chance to try out flying the thing. In fact, it won't. What I'm actually going to do is abort at that point. We'll drop the chutes. I will see people back at the launch pad. Yeah. So here we are back again. After that successful in-flight abort test. Yeah, I'm not fooling anybody really with that, am I? Let's have another go. Slightly less aggressive this time. Although I do need the gravity turn to work, because that's basically how I'm going to try and get the performance out of this thing. I shall avoid tipping over too far too early. Also keeping the thrust at about 2/3 to start with. Reason being, I don't want too much speed this low in the atmosphere. A little bit later, yes, but not this low. Because it's not so much about height, it's speed at height going sideways. So yeah, this is looking a little bit better. Quite a nice looking rocket though. Well, so far. And it's not blown up anyway. That's got to be a bonus, isn't it? Coming up on staging, so we'll power up. And that's mostly about making sure I'm going a good tilt when the boosters drop out. Essentially make sure they get clear. I think a slight tweak I might do to this is drop the performance on that centre engine on the first stage slightly. You can go in and set the engine performances. I mean, here I could do it on this one, but I'm not going to, but you can go in and limit the thrust. So you could say, I want the centre engine to only ever run at about 90% of its capability. It just means the outer engines will burn out more quickly and there'll be more performance left. Whereas here there's quite a bit. I mean, the overall performance of this rocket, I mean, even when I sort of checked it with the solids, I may even try that mission again, depending on how well this goes. It gives you the performance off the pad. You can get quite a bit of oomph out of them before they burn out. And if you can use that to get you the throw, you're in the upper atmosphere when this engine takes over. This engine is a lot more efficient. Try and get back to a more equatorial orbit at this point. Now, when you get the mission planning, you get yourself your apoapsis up to about 75, 80, whatever. You go onto the map screen and you then plan when you're going to need to do a node to circularise, and away you go. Since I don't have that as yet, I'm still doing this very manually. But let's see how well this goes. Yes, I need to pitch up slightly. My high point is about here, and I need to move that further out a little bit because I am approaching it rather rapidly. This is when this yellow marker crosses the horizon marker, at which point the apoapsis will actually start to drop again, which I'm not that keen on. We're not in space yet, although we are getting near the speed we need to. I can stay keeping my apoapsis higher than my current altitude. I'm the right side of it at the moment. Yeah, we should be fine now. And with a decent amount of fuel. The idea behind this is to try and basically I want the upper stage tank to be largely full when I'm actually in orbit. I would prefer to have that fully available for the mission. The interesting point to note is obviously I've added an extra fuel tank. We're gaining a little bit of performance. We're not gaining much because most of the performance gain we're getting is going into getting this extra fuel this high up. And there we go. So we should getting there soon. Nearly in orbit, and oh, near cut. Right, now I'm not quite in orbit yet, but I want to see where the mun is, because I need to get a little bit further round before I burn for mun. Now I'm now in space. The low point of my orbit is now behind me, so I can get away with that because I will be increasing that a little bit. Now last time I went, I burnt a little bit early, so I'm going to go a little bit further round this time. So we did it about there last time. So this time I'm going to go about there. So until Jeb go prograde, what I want him to do, put the fuel thing on again. And then burn the engines nicely. So you see, we've managed to get into orbit with a little bit of that upper stage fuel left, which is now going to leave a piece of junk in orbit. It's one of the things some players do is I don't want to leave junk in orbit, so I'm always going to either deorbit the thing or I'll have a mission later to come and get it. Yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I might do that. I'm not doing it just yet though. I don't have the rocket performance to play around with it. So scale that back a bit. Because I'm aiming for about there, I think. Because as I've noted before, I don't want to get too close to the mun. Although I do have more performance here, so I can risk it a little bit more. Let's do that. Right. Then as before, I'm going... Oh, actually, there's the easy way of doing it. I'll just turn stability control off. As long as I don't make any control movements, we should be fine. Okay, time warp. Let's see what happens. And there we are. We are not in Mun orbit, but Mun sphere of influence. So, what I need to do is get that into being an orbit now. Go forward a little bit. A little bit more. Basically, I want to be as near to the periapsis as I can when I do this. Let's just see what the goo thinks of the moon. Feels right at home. Well, that's worth knowing. We like it feeling right at home. And crew report, I did, so I'm not going to get any more science out of that. Okay, so what I want to do is tap that into an orbit just, and I'll know I've got an orbit because the contract parameter thing will tell me I've got an orbit. And shortly after that, we will be burning for home. So I'm going to go a little bit closer. Essentially, the closer I am, the more efficient this burn will be. That'll probably do. So now you can see the patterning turning round. That'll close, and it's not quite an orbit yet. Have we got orbit yet? That says I'm not quite... I mean, that's a Mun orbit, but I'm obviously not orbiting the Mun yet, if that makes sense. Basically the apoapsis is too high. So, stable orbit around the Mun. We'll see, what's it saying I'm doing? See, it's still saying I'm escaping. Basically, this means if I got out around here somewhere, I would leave the Mun sphere of influence. Where are we here? Escaping. There we are. We are now in Mun orbit. Isn't that grand? And I can't remember where the best place to get out of Mun orbit is. I think it's over here. Normally you just... I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do this, but you can put you in quite a weird orbit. So what I'm actually going to do is wait until I'm around the other side and see if I've got that right. I may have got that wrong. Let's go around. Bring it round here again. Go back to having the fuel thing on display. Yes, I'm not. I'm not really catching around. Yeah, that'll probably do. So go prograde because I want to go forwards. Probably a little bit more controlled. Now I don't have the upgrade yet that gives me the proper bit for what will happen, so I need to now fly out of the Mun sphere of influence and see what sort of orbit I've ended up with. Probably. Yes. Yes. I'm actually on track to escape Kerbin's yes, Kerbin's sphere of influence there. So what I'm now going to do is go back to prograde. Problem is I do need to leave the vicinity of Mun at this point before I can do what I need to do next. Basically I don't want to go back to the Mun in a sec, so I'm going to go to there. and do that. This is going to be quite a long mission for Jeb, because I now need... Well, I'm actually going to go a little bit further, because... Well, I very much doubt I'm going to be visiting Minmus on this one. Yeah, the inclination's wrong. I want to make damn sure. So now I need to come out here and again do a braking burn and bring this back down. So, let's do that, shall we? Now, this is now spaced quite away. I think this is the furthest we've been from Kerbin. So here we are. Do that. That's again burning more battery power, which I don't particularly want to do. But the idea now is to get the Periapis down to about 30. Is about where I want to get it to. And possibly slightly further in might be a little bit better, but 30 will do. So as we get closer, drop this. And this is again, I want to do the aero capture braking bit. Now I've actually got the fuel to go a little bit... pressed the wrong button. So I need to raise that. Yes, I just pressed full throttle instead of cutting the throttle off. So I now need to raise this again. Because otherwise we will land, but it'll be the crater formerly known as Jeb. So, yes. So we've achieved Mun orbit. I've got to get home safely yet, but that will unlock more funds and more missions. So we shall see. 33. 33 will do. Right. So this is where later on you can just click that and say warp to here, and it'll do it for you, and it makes it quite easy. Because here I want to go to a decent speed, but I don't want to get too close to Kerbin at full speed. And again, I'm just going to get reasonably close in map view, and then we'll drop back to the normal view to see what I'm doing. There, right. So there's Kerbin looking lovely. I like Kerbin. Kerbin's home. So what I need to do now, get back to a suitable position for dropping back through the atmosphere. You see, I've actually got plenty of performance left actually here. So what this tells me is that I can probably, for the next time I go to Mun, take that goo pod off and put the Science Junior in its place. Which is good, that'll give me a lot more science. I mean, this is going to give me a fair chunk. But that'll give me a lot more. So again, we shall just see. Again, sorry to say it's going to be another night re-entry. I shall do it at speed so we don't have to sit through too much of it. Go down to that there, and then jettison the lower stage. As well on the parachutes while we're here. If you notice now, the surface speed is a lot higher than it has been. We're coming in from a lot further out, so we're going to burn through a lot more of the heat shield. Hopefully we'll be fine. And that goo pod's going to warm up a bit, but hopefully this one will be fine, and we'll then see what the next mission is. As I'm thinking about this, I've noted, yeah, I could probably shave about 100 off the ablator, which would help on the heat shield. Yes, I got the burn angle to leave Mun, I think, off by about 180 degrees. But there we go. Never mind. We made it back. That's the main thing. So let's see how this runs. We have 55 science and quite a lot more money. Not enough to upgrade the tracking station yet. What do we got on here? Explore the Mun. land on and then return. Those ones I'm going to take because again I can store 7, so having a couple in here that are simple ones is there. Space around Kerbin. Well, we're going to be going up again in a minute anyway, so I'll do that. Swivel at the launch site. To be honest, I can't be bothered with that. That XL is a big parachute. It's not that hard a mission, but it's a big parachute, so I'm going to skip that. And what we're going to do next is this one. So that's reasonable altitude. Basically, that's saying something controllable. So we're going to do that, and we have to activate the Mark 16 parachute with those parameters. Well, that's that's going to be relatively simple. Can I have one of those? And we are going to stick a Mark 16 parachute on it because we need one of those. I don't need the heat shield for this because we are not going to be going all that fast or all that high. The contract says we need to go to 4 to 6 kilometers up, 4 to 9 kilometers up, sorry, 70 to 210. So what I need is a controllable engine stage. I'm aiming for about 4,000 meters at the low end of that velocity. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put... Ooh, I've got the Thud engines. They're quite nice. I like Thud engines. They mount on the sides, which can be quite useful. I'm going to put one of those underneath, and I'm going to stick some fins on this. And that's about it. Although I am also going to come in and do that. And what that's going to do is when I jettison the thrust stage, it's going to trigger parachutes on that, and we may get to recover that. So this is a simple little lawn dart thing here. Yes, Jeb's now gone up a little bit because he's orbited the Mun, so he's gained 3 experience from doing that. Yeah, well, super ace test pilot. Basically, he needs to land on, I think that's either Mun or Minmus before he'll level up to the next one. It's a nighttime mission, which I don't want. Nighttime missions, nobody can see what's going on. So we shall zoom forward to sunrise until we can see what's happening. Contract parameters window stays open because I need to see what I'm doing. Stability on, throttle up a bit. And here I'm going to be riding the throttle a little bit. I do want to move over a bit so that we're in a bit of an arc. Doesn't have to be much. There we go. I want to control velocity until we hit the appropriate altitude. Try to angle upwards a little bit, and we'll get there with this. The hard bit is going to be controlling the velocity. There we are. So we've done that. And the one thing I forgot to do, because I'm a complete idiot, was cut the engines first. So that stage is going to continue for a little while. We'll see whether that actually recovers or not. I suspect it won't. I think that's going to crash into the ocean at speed. Is a little bit of a problem there. I rather wished... I was hoping to save the money from that one, but I think I may have just messed that up again by my own incompetence. What I actually needed to do, was cut the engines off, and then that would probably have worked. Oh, no, that looks like the main chutes have opened. It's still burning its engine away nicely there, but we shall see. It may land. I'm actually quite curious to see what it does now. Get ourselves in the water and then keep an eye on it. There we are, just run out of fuel. So hopefully that will land in such a way that I can then recover it, which is good. It just saves a little bit of in-game currency, and it's not we're not littering quite so much. So that's in the water. So where's that? Let's just because I'm in the water, I can speed this. That might have worked. It might not. We'll see. Anything out there? No, we didn't. Let's just check. Tracked objects. Here we are around here. No, there's nothing there. So no, we didn't. That was worth it. It was worthy of a try. Right. So what else have we got here? A lot more tourists. I need to get that to about 350. Test a Weasley jet engine. That's a larger engine. That's high enough. That's rocket territory, I think. Yeah, might be able to get up there. It's a reasonable amount of money, but ooh, now that one's into escape trajectory. The Airstream covers are worth having. They really do make launching a lot easier with weird shaped craft. That is quite a bit of money, but escape trajectory is dangerous. I don't want to do that. Well, this is the problem. The problem with that is to get onto an escape trajectory, I would need to have a probe based thing, which I don't really have the capability of. Let's have a little look in here. What have we got? See, I've got the aviation bits. I could get that, which gives me that big, basic little Juno engine. And you make quite a nice little aircraft out of that. The problem is it's a bit of a dead end. Yes, I need it eventually, but I don't need it yet. I'd rather hold the missions and hold the science and get some of these. Specifically that one, because the moment I've got that, I've got a probe that works. And the moment I've got a probe that works, I can potentially stick something on Mun. We shall have to see. So, mission. What are we going to do next? Psi data from space around Kerbin. That's a simple one. But what we're going to do is do it with a slightly different rocket. The big thing we've been doing is quite expensive. So, what I'm going to do is do something that can do science data. It's interesting to note it doesn't have to be new science data, so the thermometer is all I need. I am going to put a heat shield on this, even though I don't plan on needing it. I'm just being a tad paranoid. So I'm going to go into that, turn that down. I'm going to go into that, turn all that off. And you see what I'm going to do now is build another suborbital rocket. Because it's only got to be space around. It doesn't have to be anything particularly impressive. So I think that. Stick a swivel on the bottom and stick a couple of fins on it. Go with these ones. Like that. And that is an extremely basic little craft, but I've only got to get it into space to recover the lovely reward. So it's going to give me a reasonable amount of reward, and it's not going to cost a stupid amount in order to do it. So let's try this. Turn that into that mode so I can see whether I'm going to go up or not. Probably don't need full throttle on this, but oh yes I do. Yes, just to get it clear of the pad with its bit. I'm going to go slightly sideways, but not much more than about that. And the aim is to see whether I can get this thing to go above the atmosphere. So again, I'm going to slow down a little bit to avoid basically I don't want to fight too much atmospheric drag if I can avoid it. Some I don't mind. You can't really avoid some of it. Until I'm above about 10-15 kilometers, I'd rather stay throttled down a little bit more. We shall see. I do hope there's enough fuel in this thing, because if not, it's a wasted launch, and a wasted launch is expensive. So, I think we'll be alright. As Jeb goes on another suborbital hop, which is, yeah. This is the other thing. The tourists now don't want to go suborbital. They want to go orbital. They want to go orbit around the Mun. And because they want to go orbit around the Mun, it all gets a bit difficult to do. So I'm going to get up to 70. Going to cut that at 80 rather. And then we are going to see how we go with this. So, orbit. Round we go, round we go, round we go. The engine on this thing is capable of generating power, which is quite nice. It's a little bit like an old Ford whatever, or a little Austin something or other. They've strapped an alternator to the side of the engine, which I think is awfully decent of them. Right, so what I need to do is I need to grab that thermometer. So when I get in space, I can say, I will grab myself some stuff. I'm not jettisoning the engine stage just yet. Basically, I want to make... I'm going to get there. I'm just being paranoid. I want to make sure I get there. So we shall log the temperature when we're in space. I shall drop the engines and then we shall come back. So, because there we are, log temperature. Obviously, we'll learn absolutely nothing from that. Ding. There we go. And Jeb can keep the thing facing the other way as we turn around and we head home. So, there we go, back down we go, like that. And somewhere around here there's a first stage we've just dumped. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, never mind. Be around somewhere. And have we got... unusually we don't have Mun photobombing, which is always interesting. Oh, there's the first stage as it descends. Unlike the first stage, we've got a parachute. So it is now uses its fins as it points itself straight downwards, and we are then going to run this. Yeah. And this is all my quest for the funds to make getting to Mun a little bit easier. In theory, it's the VAB I need to upgrade because I need more than 30 parts. In practice, getting to Mun reliably means using the orbit calculation stuff, which is what I want to do. It's now flying off up to one side there. Possibly due to its fins. I didn't put the drogue parachute on this. We should slow down enough. I don't need it. We'll find out in a sec. There we go. Yeah, main chute's deployed. That's nice and safe. And down we go. The first stage appears to be dead, which is fair enough. And then this will land, and we shall see what we can do next. The other reason for taking little missions like this is the missions available to you do change over time. So sometimes if you don't fancy taking the penalty of declining some missions, you can just go and fly something. And when you come back, with a bit of luck, you'll have some more missions to choose from. And the game sort of learns from the ones you accept. So if early on you accept a lot of tourist missions, you will be forever getting tourist missions. The world's first missions you tend not to get many more of. So like I've got the land on the Mun mission. I'm probably not going to get anything else now until I've landed on the Mun and come back. Obviously landing there is quite easy, coming back is a little bit more tricky. Yes, and with that, we'll actually leave that one there for today. I've only just realised how long this video session is I recorded. And then there's a second part to it as well, so I'm going to split this one up. Suffice it to say, the next session is an exercise in how not to do something. Ending in just complete and utter half-wittery. Yeah, but we'll come to that one another day. Meanwhile, thanks everyone for watching. I've noted these Kerbal videos are getting slightly more viewers than the City Skylines videos, so given I like playing both, I'm going to carry on with this one for a while. Yes, as always, likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, etc. more than warmly welcomed, along with amusing insults and anything else you can think of. And meanwhile, enjoy the good weather. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.